Poor fella.
Welcome back to the GP Productions podcast. Okay, welcome back to the show. And today I've got a very special guest here, a musician and a wrestling fan all wrapped into one. So, pretty much an honor to have you today on the podcast, man. It's Mr. Gareth Murdock, bass player from Alestorm. How are you, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm very, very well. Very well indeed.
Good. I suppose the generic cheesy question, but it has to be asked to someone in the entertainment business. How has the last, how long been for you, man?
Not great, as you could possibly imagine. We are pretty lucky that, all right, let's go back to March 2020. We were lucky. We had just recorded an album, thankfully. So that came out in May. So we had something to sort of, it was crap that we weren't able to tour it. But at least we had something to sort of promote, to do when everything was sort of, nothing going on. But yeah, the last 2 years have been dull. They've been dull. But we're back now, I think, hopefully, fingers crossed.
What have you been doing to fill out your time?
Not a great deal, in fairness. Kind of got caught at the start of all pandemic stuff. I was living abroad just beforehand. I was living in Spain and came back just beforehand, and wanted to sort out a place to live here in Belfast. And the world ended and never got a chance to. So I spent the first 6 months of lockdown living with my folks in Bangor, which was interesting. It was fine.
Were they happy to have you back?
Yeah. I was actually glad to be with them, could have been a lot worse, let's say, but it was fine. And then, last October I was able to get this place sorted. So spent the last year sort of doing this up and making it nice. So I have been busy-ish, but professionally, not even slightly busy,
Yeah. If we were to rewind back just on yourself, how did you decide you wanted to become a musician? Do you remember that moment in your life?
Sort of. I remember being about 12, 13, I was starting to get into sort of rock and metal bands and stuff like that. And there was a fellow who I went to church with who said that he's got a band and he needs a bass player. Would you learn bass? And I went, okay. And I learned bass and the rest is history.
And there was no turning back then?
There was no turning back, yeah. I actually wanted to, when I was 12, 13, I wanted to be a footballer. And then I just got into music and realized that was more fun. And so I think that's, but over 20 years now. Wow.
And was that first band Alestorm, or was it a different band?
Oh God, no, it wasn't Alestorm. It was just crap.
And how did Alestorm come about for you?
I actually wasn't in the original incarnation. They found me after the first album. I don't know, I was just friends with the guys already. Christopher, I'd known for a few years at that point, and I think it just sort of, the bassist the guitarist at the time left, and the bassist wanted to move on to guitars, and then he just asked me, and And again, I jumped at the opportunity because, you know, I was just like, I was playing in bands here and stuff. I'm playing the odd gig, but they had stuff booked in America and Europe and stuff. I was like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I've wanted to do for a very long time, and so I jumped on that chance.
Yeah, they've got a pretty full-on schedule all the time. Like Alestorm's always kind of a constantly touring band as well, which is obviously something you've missed over the last few years. Is there any particular shows that you guys have played and you think, right, that was a fucking great show, or that's my favorite show, or anything like that?
All of them, to be honest. Like, we've been doing it. Well, I've been doing it now 12, 13 years. And one thing that I realized last year, like when it was all sort of taken away, was just like you have those nights where like, and you're on tour and you're playing in a town, and you're just not like feeling it or something, and you kind of go, oh, I wish I didn't have to play tonight. And then whenever, you know, during the pandemic and stuff where we weren't able to play anymore, it was sort of, oh God, I wish I had one of those shows. You know, one of those sort of crappy shows you're not even that interested in. It's sort of, you know, made me sort of think about those. But like overall, like I just love playing everywhere, really. That's my main reason for enjoying it, is because I get the opportunity to sort of travel around and go to places. So like I'm happy to go anywhere, especially now. Like up to the last wee while, I'm just go anywhere and play.
So you guys, I just have a little graphic here. The tour is starting in Southampton the end of November there, and you're playing Belfast, Dublin, various other places in the UK as well. Like, so must be pretty exciting to be finally getting back into it.
Yeah, very much so. Feels a bit weird. It's a couple of weeks away now, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
3
just
weeks.
a month away, but yeah, very excited indeed. This tour's been something we've been looking forward to for ages. You know, the UK has always been very good to us, and it's a couple of very, very big shows. So just can't wait. Hope it all goes to plan. There was a couple of scary moments there, especially like in Belfast and in Dublin, you know, with the restrictions in clubs and stuff. I was thinking, oh God, you know, but seems to be all going ahead now. So very excited indeed.
Yeah, I was quite worried because I'm going to see Fozzy, and actually they're playing over here on the 4th, and I think
it's the night after us.
Yeah, you guys are playing in the National Stadium the night before.
On the 3rd, and then Fozzy are playing on the 4th, and OTT is also on the 4th. But on the 4th, we're playing in Belfast. So
yeah, and then Fozzy are playing in Belfast on the 5th.
So we're just sort of crossing over with each other, I guess. We're sort of following us around.
And I was kind of worried about the Dublin gig, and I thought, well, which is more of a chance of going ahead, because I was kind of up and down to Belfast to OTT shows and stuff like that, and I was thinking, right, I'm just going to book Belfast because I don't trust Ireland not to fuck this up. So I didn't book the Fozzy gig on the 4th. I booked Belfast on the 5th.
Right.
And there's about 10 other people going up with us. So it's looking likely that the gigs, both north and south, are going to go ahead for the rest of the year, at least anyway, hopefully.
Seems to be now, actually, yeah. I was worried. Even a couple of weeks ago, I was worried.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some rule down south where it was like nightclubs, you could go to nightclubs, but you could dance and eat and drink, but you weren't allowed to stand up if there was music playing?
This is what happened when they came up with the rules. They said that all concerts and gigs have to be seated. So then I thought, right, that's Fozzy gone. And I was in contact with their manager over the last 5-6 months. Just
I've seen a couple of you guys have done this podcast with you before.
Yeah, and I was just filling him in on, well, this is now the law in Ireland, and like he couldn't believe the shit that I've been sending him the last 5 or 6 months. Like, but what came out was that all gigs have to be seated. Then it was changed, said, okay, you can have a maximum of 1,500 people standing. So what that meant was gigs that were oversold by 1,500 in the Tree Arena on the ground floor had to all be seated then. And I think there was a 90s disco, I think, that came on the first weekend, and obviously the floor seats weren't sold,
Yeah.
or not the floor stalls weren't sold out, so they rolled out seats and put people on them. But seats is the last thing I want to see at a gig, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there was a brief moment where I was thinking, like, all right, if we had to play a seated gig, would it be the worst? Would we could try and make it fun. We wouldn't cancel it, we would try and make it fun, but it's not what you want. It's not what anybody wants,
No. And then the rule was also you can stand at your seat, but you can't leave your seat.
Stand at your seat, but you can't leave. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. So, it's all sorts of nonsense anyway.
It's all very safe. Where are Fozzy playing anyway? What venue?
Fozzy are playing in the Limelight up in Belfast and the Opium Rooms at Dublin. Dublin's kind of running out of venues, as I'm sure you know. Like
since the Tivoli
gone as well, and the Ambassador is still in town, but kind of going to waste there. And
I remember the Ambassador. I haven't been there in years.
It's not a venue anymore. It's they opened it up maybe twice a year for dinosaur exhibitions and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a waste.
Saw some good gigs. I saw Wasp there many years ago. It's great.
Yeah, and then it was a nice little stroll from there then over to Fibber McGee's. Not very far at all.
And handy for us for the bus back up north again. O'Connell Street.
In terms of you've got this tour coming up with the band. Then we'll move on to other stuff in a minute. But going into next year, are you guys starting to book more overseas gigs, or is it kind of a grey area? What's your thinking?
We were a bit worried about early next year, so we've just sort of forgotten about that, and we're booking summer festivals as normal. A lot of them are actually the summer festivals we were supposed to do last year and this year that have again been sort of rolling over. So we're expecting next summer to be incredibly busy, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
Early next year, I'm not sure. Like, it's just too much of a risk to book something like a European tour at the minute, especially when all the different countries have different rules.
Yeah.
It would be silly. I know a couple of bands have some stuff booked, but I think we're just gonna wait. We've waited this long. At least we've got a tour coming up. We can do some stuff early next year. Hopefully, we can go to some sort of the smaller markets, wherever. Because not only tours, but sometimes we just, you go to Japan for a gig, or like Israel for a gig. So hopefully we can do a couple of those next year. But it all just depends on what situation the country's in at the time. So
tricky times. Were you ever worried? Were you ever worried that the hunger wouldn't be there for people, or people would be too scared to come back out to live entertainment? I was kind of worried about it, I guess, but the hunger seems to be there, and I think people just want to get back to being entertained.
I was worried that we'd just maybe it was irrational, I don't know, because every band was in the same boat, but I was worried that people would forget about us, because you play gigs all the time, you release stuff all the time, and then I thought, like, with all this time off, like, started thinking, the fans will go elsewhere. But then you're thinking also to yourself, well, where are they going to go? No band is doing anything. So it might have just been just irrational fears during the whole madness. But that's what I thought. Like, thankfully, it doesn't seem to be that way. People are excited for shows, probably more than ever, because no one's been anywhere. So I was never worried about that. But specifically us, I was worried that people were just gonna forget about us.
Yeah, you guys did you go down the live stream route any of the over the lockdowns?
No, we couldn't, because we all live in different countries.
Yeah. And it's probably, and people are just pissed off with live streams now anyway.
Yeah, I can imagine. I did a couple of like chats, online sort of. But that was when everything was like seriously locked down, like you couldn't even leave your house, sort of thing. So they were better than nothing. But we couldn't do anything with the band. Like I literally didn't see the guys until a month ago. It'd been 18 months since I'd seen any. Well, not the drummer because he lives across the street, but the rest of the guys. I hadn't seen them in 18 months, and we only met up last month. So,
did you yourself and the drummer get to jam, or did you meet up during it?
We did a music video for one of the songs where everyone recorded their parts in various locations where they lived, and we were able to do ours together, which is handy because we're the only two who live in the same city. So that was nice. We were able to, do that. And then everyone else just sort of, because we got like a singer lives in America, a guitarist Hungary, keyboardist England. So so we're the only two living close to each other. So yeah, we were at least able to do that video together. But not really jamming as such, because no point. What are we jamming for? There's no gigs coming up. It was just a bit weird.
Yeah. One thing, how we kind of met online on Twitter was through the wrestling, and I was fortunate enough to go up to Belfast to see OTT for the first show back. That was my first time up in Belfast. Yeah. Isn't the Irish wrestling scene like the most hidden gem that you will find on this island? Like there's people that go about their daily lives and they have no idea that this exists and the talent that's here. Isn't it crazy?
It's phenomenal. Like I keep trying to explain it to like my friends in America and stuff like that, you know, but it's hard to explain it without coming across as my local promotion's really good. There's some great guys, but it's like, no, seriously, like watch this. It's outstanding. It's incredible what we've got here at the moment. Like some of the matches I've seen recently. Like you weren't at any of the weekends ones, were you?
No, I haven't been now since the baby was born. That was I kind of got my last hurrah now for a while. And I'll hopefully be back in November.
There were some good matches this weekend.
Yeah. If there's anyone who's standing out to you from those rosters,
in Ireland.
In Ireland, yeah.
I genuinely think Scotty Davis is probably my favorite wrestler. On the planet, and he just happens to be from Ireland. Maybe a bit of bias, but also just every time I see him, he's phenomenal. Like fantastic.
The first match I seen when I went back was Haskins and Adam Flex Basket, the two guys.
Yeah, wasn't it that?
That was the first show back, and they done it the very first match.
Can't remember now because I get mixed up with which ones I went to and which ones I watched on demand.
Yeah,
but I've been to two Belfast ones recently, so it might have been. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was in the Europa anyway, and it was still socially distant times. I suppose it was around maybe 2 months ago, maybe 3.
Yeah. And it was really hard to get a ticket then as well because there was only like 150, 200 people out in, like spaced out. So it's.
I think Eventbrite has been shitting the bed a lot lately for events for people as well. I've heard nothing but bad things, and then it'll only take maybe PayPal sometimes, and it won't take your card.
Yeah, I had some issues myself with the ones from this weekend, but thankfully they now that they're both Dublin and Belfast can do full capacities, seems to be easier to get tickets now. You don't have to be like 10 a.m. on the button, thankfully it's. But it was intense for a while, and then PayPal shit the bed or something. I don't know. It was a mess.
Obviously, we've seen then this week Ring of Honor releasing some of their talent, and Martina was involved in that as well. She's another great character, isn't she? In OTT.
Yeah, well, sky's the limit for her, isn't it? Like,
this is not going to set her back at all, man. She's going to go right up there to the top as well.
Exactly. I had no worries even when I saw it. She's brilliant.
Yeah,
and any place would be lucky to have her, and we're lucky to have her at OTT. So.
Yeah, I seen her. She was booked, I think, in Denmark. I think this week I seen something pop up on Twitter. Like, so she's
she'll take over the world.
Good. In terms of wrestling outside the country, then do you see much of WWE these days, or are you watching more AEW, or what's your kind of preference on that side of things?
I interestingly enough, like. During the pandemic and everything, I watched WrestleMania, the one last year, 2020, didn't love it. It's no crowd. It was, but obviously it's something. It was better than nothing. So fair enough. But I just I couldn't really get into the whole thing. Well, it wasn't particularly exciting. So I took sort of a year off almost. I was following them both. Like seeing what's going on, watching highlights when I heard something was good. But I wasn't watching. I wasn't staying up to 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. to watch pay-per-views or anything like that. There, I was just sort of, just keeping up with it, but I wasn't really, too much into it. So I think that's sort of, even though it's back to normal now, isn't it? WWE and AEW sort of full crowds and stuff, but haven't managed to again get fully back into it. I need to go to America and see an event again, because that will sort of just rekindle my interest, I think, in the American promotions. Like I've been going to OTT events. I've also, because I only moved back here in 2018. So I only started going to events in 2018. So with the on demand, I went way back, like OTT, and started watching like the early Tivoli shows, like from years ago. I've started watching all them, so I've just been sort of wrestling wise. I've just been engrossed in that recently, and WWE and AEW isn't exciting me massively. Like obviously AEW's got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of exciting people and stuff, and great matches that are coming out. Like I said, I think I just need to go to an event over there just to really get excited about it again.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Mania next year. If the world lets me go. I've never been to the States, but no. We've made the decision. Hotels booked, flights are booked, getting tickets now in, what is it, 9 days, I think they come out. So, but the thing, I'd rather WrestleMania over 2 nights, or 1 night, but it's going to be over 2 nights again, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
It'll blow your mind. If you're there, it'll blow your mind. Personally, I would want it all in 1 day myself, but 2 days is just going to extend the fun time, especially if you're there. Then wow.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about my liver, really.
I mean, I thought that as well, but the queues for the bars at these things
are they long?
Yeah, I remember it. I was at Survivor Series 2019, just before all this shit. And I thought to myself, like, oh, brilliant, it's pints, but you have to really time it well. Like, matches you're not interested in, go queue up for 15, 20 minutes. It's
I can imagine the matches where
they an OTT show and just like, oh, get another pint. Hey.
So naggins may have to be smuggled in.
Yeah, and you probably could get away with that, actually. I'm sort of regretting not doing that myself, because I don't remember a thorough body search. So probably pocket whiskeys or wines or something would be fine. Yeah.
That'll be my first time actually going that far. I've never been outside of Europe, so it'll be a real baptism of fire.
Where is WrestleMania next year?
Dallas.
Yeah. Good place to start.
Yeah, so it's no rules Texas, I hear, over there, so they don't give a fuck about anything over there. But it's just about getting there.
As well.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fantastic. So you're all booked up and everything's ready to go?
Yeah, we just need to get the tickets for the event now, which are out in about 10 or 12 days, I think they're out. So Friday week.
That's really good. I would love to go to something next year myself, like I said, just to sort of, just to get that excitement back that I had in 2019 after Survivor Series. But we'll see. Maybe early next year. I mean, I probably no plans until the summer. I might end up at WrestleMania myself.
Okay, we've got an extra room. We've got an extra bed in the room there, so you're more than welcome to come. And you never know. You might be playing in Dallas that weekend. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
Man, it was great to catch up with you today. I'll hopefully have you on again sometime soon, and when I'm feeling a little less under the weather.
And finally as well, because we've been trying to do this now since August, I think.
Has it been that long? Fucking hell. Wow.
But so finally we got a chance to chat, so that's good.
Yeah. Hopefully we didn't disappoint anyone with the show anyway, but if we did, we don't really care anyway.
Not bothered.
Yeah. Listen, man, enjoy yourself back on the road.
Thank you very much. Lovely to chat to you.
You too, Gareth. Thanks, man.
You too.